What is up? What is up? What is up? How hope everyone can hear me. Oi! This is going to be a quick stream. Sicilian Ninja! How you doing? Good to see you. You really did me a solid today. I really appreciate it. About as the stream is going on. Since it's just a steady stream and the time, I'm just gonna go it's into no puzzles. Oh. Oh, okay. taking everything things out. Okay. The Sicilian Ninja, as usual, pops in and then pops out. I'm drinking my coffee now. It was like different from what you guys are listening to. If I'm nodding out. Okay, so over the weekend there was a tournament called the Clash of Samurai, which I was supposed to stream, but I ran out of is it always, bro? I ran out of my net subscription. Thanks to Sicilian Ninja, we are back on today. So quickly we are going to just take a look at the finals. I really don't know which one came first, the egg or the chicken. I think which one? Okay, let me redo it so that I get them in the right order. Let me cancel. 1, 2. Okay, so now I have it in order. This from here. Oh, as always, when there's a lag, it means my PC is not. Okay. So if I show the full screen, you see that I was just giving commentary. So it's between two of Ghana's two players in the national team. Yeah. Two national team players. Nyameba, who I'm much more close to, and Daniel Frimpong, who I don't know how long he has been. People say he has been in the scene for, but I didn't know him until he started actually making a name for it. So I don't know Daniel from Smart that much, but I do know Nyameba. So I was hoping for Nyameba to win. Sicilian Ninja, if you want us to look at your games, we can look at that as well. And so we are going to try and learn. I watched the game, but I don't remember everything that happened in the game. That's all I can say. So yeah, knight f3, knight f6, b3, interesting, b6. It's basically the same position, but swapped around. Okay, maybe without the pawn. Of course, black is behind the move, so yeah. But the fact that they are not actually actively trying to jump into the center is actually very funny. There was this opening called the Maran, or the anti-Maran, I've forgotten. It's a very interesting opening. The way it develops, you can wish I could remember. Anyway, so now we get c4. Okay, so c4 apart from like queen here, the ideas of d4, I don't see the point. Maybe there's a plan of this. I don't see why you'd want to do that. The game is upper the 10 plus 2 1. Okay, we'll look at that one as well. I don't know. There are some crazy moves that exist, but this development is not common to me. But again, if you play d4 here, it's something that's common most. Anyways, d5 challenging the d4 push. Actually, it doesn't really challenge anything. You can still go this way. I don't know if this is something you have to worry about, but I think you're just. Oh, he actually does go d4. Yeah. So yeah. Now we see a battle for the string. This is beginning to look like a dragon Sicilian, right? I'm getting, since I've been trying out the Sicilian, I'm getting used to seeing the position, right? Excuse me if I'm wrong with this. I'm just trying to draw something here. This is not the right move order for sure, but you get the whole point. It kind of resembles these kind of Sicilian positions. Yeah, but he goes d5 here, and that's where I get from. Okay, so there's the problem here. Yeah, I don't get why he played pawn push. Not just because the engine is like, this move is awkward, but it feels like if you were to take, or even let your opponent take, the position seems to favor white, right? Let's say he comes in this way and then we have takes. This is good for white, right? And if you take, again, I get this an IQP, but I still think this position is good for white. Again, you can develop with tempo, but I don't think that's basically it. So it doesn't make sense for white to decline the trade. It doesn't make sense for white to decline. And the problem with this is that now white leaves himself with this backward pawn on the d4. That's strange. Why did I not see this game? Because these moves don't click with me. Moves don't click with me. Longest. My mic off? Oh, my mic is doing. Yeah, it's good. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Sorry about that. I just realized my mic. Yeah, so this move doesn't make any sense. Pawn push here. Declining the trade doesn't make any sense. Wait, is taken actually wrong? Let me just even count. Either I play bishop e2, h3, knight bd2. Okay, so even taking is not even correct. Okay, taking is still bad for white. Yeah, so pushing and taking is bad for white. White should just let black capture of his own. It's just like ignore, develop and ignore your opponent. Shaki! This is an exchange Karukan. I mean, it looks like so many things. But with the g6, I think it looks more like a dragon to me. Like, these are the opening moves. Let me. It's this. It looks like an exchange Karukan. Not really. Wait. Wait, what? Muloma! How you doing? We've met live before. How you doing? Now I have faces to some of the names I see. Yeah, but I get it. I have the benefit of the engine, but I don't get why he played. Because I'm guessing it had to do with the bishop. I'm guessing it had to do with his bishop here. What is h3? h3 is a waiting move. h3 is a waiting move. I don't know why he's indecisive about where to put this bishop, but I think it's very clear you'd want to put your. But he seems to be waiting for something. I don't think he's expecting, like, because there's no danger. For example, let's say you develop the bishop. Let's just say, for example, here, there's no danger that comes from allowing this to happen to you. Yeah, it wastes time for no reason. Exactly, I agree with you at that point. And I'm like, the only thing I can say is that it's a waiting move. But waiting for what? Right? Like, waiting for what? He can literally do anything. So I don't know what exactly was going on in his mind. So it's quite strange. Already, this is very questionable for white. Again, it may not be so clear of an advantage, but this is something that I like. Okay, so since it's a steady stream, the way I understand this is that sometimes you want to keep the pawn tension rather than resolve the pawn. right? And pawn tension basically is this: how you can understand it. When pawns can capture each other, but they don't. Pawns can capture themselves, but they just decide to stare at each other. So this is basically pawn. Why can't I clean it? How do I remove those lines? I don't even know what. Yeah. But that's basically it. So these two pawns can capture each other. But the resistance to capture them, that's how I define pawn tension, right? So oftentimes you want to maintain the pawn tension than to resolve the pawn tension. So let's flip and let's do London system, for example, right? Always use what you know to explain, right? 3 knight here, 6 knight 3, here. Let's just say move order might be wrong, whatever. This you want to maintain this. This is what you want to maintain as black. This is often what you want to maintain as black. Depending on the situation, where I can't really explain it is the difference in situation. The difference in situation. But what I know is that oftentimes playing this move is actually consistent. You resolve the pawn tension. And it makes it easy for white to know what to do. First of all, there are plans of e4 here. This pawn could be at your opponent may not be able to even launch an attack here, contrary to what he believes. He may not be able to launch an attack. So oftentimes you want to, not the London, you join the stream where the London is played. I mean, I don't know what else you expect. you know, I have to do one challenge. There's a challenge I did some years ago. And the challenge was I played against one of my viewers, and if I lost, it was a 3-game match. If I lost the match, I had to spend one whole month playing openings other than the London. So I couldn't play the London system. That was one of the worst months of my that was one of the worst months of my life. I had to play other things other than the London. Maybe I'll do that again, but I doubt I'm too good at the London now. But you get it. So you often want to maintain the pawn tension. Like we said, the pawn tension is when the pawns can. So c5 here resolves the pawn tension. So now the position is more clarified. There's no always considering would he take. Right now, I know that there's no possibility of you taking. The added disadvantage of this move is basically that oftentimes it's clear that you can deal with the pawn and free or open up your bishop, but here this pawn is just locked. It's just locked. So positionally speaking, this is good for white, right? Because he has a very clear weakness. The bishop for the time being is going to be very. So that is why the engine values this badly. So his opponent is now making moves. Eventually, maybe bishop. Yeah, but still, I still don't think this is it. I still don't like. Let's just see. Like I still don't see where you want. Right? Yeah. So Shaki, you see, I didn't even think of this. I didn't think this was an issue. So your mindset that I'm afraid of the bishop coming to these squares is wrong. I didn't think this was even an issue. Like, come on. Yeah, so that doesn't make any sense. And then b6, I don't get the point of b6, because the only way I can support b6 is that you want central control, but at best you spoil your pawn structure. Because okay, let's say your opponent takes. If you take this way, I don't think you like this pawn. If you take with the queen, still, I mean, I don't see what else you've gotten from this, right? And if you are the one who takes, for example, so let's say you play this move, your opponent, let's say, does this and you take. I don't see it. Like, I'm thinking that maybe he wants to build a strong center, but I don't see it. Right? So the move is not making sense. The move here just doesn't make any sense. The move here just doesn't make any sense. I can't defend b6. Like, apart from maybe trying to defend develop the bishop. Again, I don't know. But for white, as compared to black, for white, it's much more likely read this pawn, especially with like rook rook e8 with d5, but I don't see why you would want that. Again, I also have the engines. Maybe I'm being bad because, but b6 just doesn't make any sense. Is he worried about this? I think this is just bad for you. Like, I'm not getting I'm not getting the, trying to figure out like what reason. Again, the engine is saying is wrong, but the question is like, why would I as a chess player want to make this? That's the question I'm trying to ask. Why would I as a want to make? Can anybody answer that question? Because if anything, it helps you. Like we said, if it is an takes take, the bishop is now, and you've fixed your opponent. So he has no plans of taking as black. And if white takes, I don't see how that benefits him. Secondly, bishop position. Even if it's the only pawn break, yeah, but still, no, it's not. You can build up to another pawn break, can't you? Queen c7, rook e1, knight h5. You can build up to it. Arba, the name, if it's, but the name sounds very familiar. Welcome to the stream. I don't see it. I still don't see it. Like, in terms of reasonable pawn breaks, I don't see it. Imagine Yamiba jumps into the stream and he comes to hear me criticizing him. That would be so funny. That would be so funny. You were here during the African Championships. Nice to have you back. Yeah, it is obviously not good, but I can see why it would be considered. Yeah, I mean, I don't see. What I can support is the difficulty of where to place this bishop. Can someone help me with how to turn off these supplementary lines? I know how to do it on or is it a threads? I don't get it. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, and now you see the problem it creates for him. Immediately it creates a problem for him. takes, and then the knight jumps in. Okay. I wouldn't want to trade this knight for this bishop. I wouldn't want to trade this knight for this bishop. Again, this knight is better than this bishop currently. Your opponent could actually try and stop you from castling by playing bishop to b5, targeting the square. So that's maybe where you'd consider that. I'm analyzing the finals of the Clash of Samurai. Yamiba versus Daniel Frimpong Smart. Oh, he does it. Yeah, that diagonal looks very juicy, and it's going to be very difficult to stop your opponent. You would have to go back with your knight, try and castle, remove the rook before you can bring your knight back. And I think your opponent is just going to mess with you in that. But you have to like 1, then 2, and then yeah, bishop b5. Bishop b5 is good. But again, I still think the knight is. I still prefer the knight to this. You could play this move. Right? Your opponent goes back and I don't think this is a good idea, but it's funny. It's funny because now your knight has another place it can take a break on. Oh, this would be the most annoying thing I would see. I mean, this would be nice. Let's see if the engine thinks playing like that would be nice. Let's see. Wait. Knight jumps in, bishop goes back, a4. Bishop comes back. Let's see. I don't think the engine will like this. Yeah, it doesn't like this. I was just hoping against hope that it doesn't. Okay, so he jumps with the knight to c, attacking this. It goes back for sure, still keeping the positional advantage here. But now, yes, we know that black is better, but how do we capitalize on this? Knight bd7. Sorry, knight to d7. Since the knight here is currently blocking, we could play this. I don't know if that net's starting. I don't know how this net's starting yet. Yeah, so this is the classic problem of I know I'm better, but what do I do? How does black... Who's move it? It's white's move. Okay, so let's see what white does. And now the question is, how does black progress? Because now I'm beginning to see that this is going to become an issue. This is going to become an... If there's a white rook on the c5, right? But again, you have to work towards it, like you are saying. So maybe at some point it would. But he takes this. I get the reasoning behind it, right? You want to solve your backward pawn. Am I wrong in assuming that this makes black's position better, especially after something like this? You can't play queen takes, you can't. Because you just lose them. And I don't know what you do here, right? I don't know what you do here. There are even ideas of like this, right? There are even ideas of like still pushing the pawn. Okay, then I could go... Nah. I don't know if that's the reason why. But takes... I was thinking here. And the same idea I was thinking about, you can try and push an advantage here. I think the main issue that the engine has with white's position is simply the fact that white's king is stuck in the center, I think. b4 here. Wait, where are you guys? Not so far back. B5 instead of retreating. Wait, like this? B5 first. After the guy moves, then you take. Is that what you're saying? Is that what we are saying here? Okay, to anyone who is new to the stream, and in case you're wondering why it's like I'm taking my time, Tuesdays are steady streams. So often I pick a topic. It could be an opening. I'm trying to learn. It could be any aspect of the chess game, opening, middle game, tactics. It could be anything. But the main point of this stream is we are learning together. It's not like the streamer is just doing stuff and then listening to your comments. I'm working together with you, right? So oftentimes I wait for your responses before I move. So in case you're wondering why it's like I'm just waiting, that's the point of this stream. It's every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. Often 10 a.m. in the morning. You just had to. It was not this exact position. So where exactly? This, how many moves ago? Okay, you said b4, 6. Here there's queen c7. That's the line I just mentioned here. Here there's queen c7. Oh yes. Oh nice, I didn't see that. Okay, queen c7 exists. I was thinking, okay, so let's play a bad defensive move. How would you continue? I I I still don't like this for white because of how bad white's position is. But I don't know how exactly we are going to counter or do anything. Maybe the engine is going to think otherwise. It still thinks black is very good. But it's funny. It's funny. As much as I agree with the engine, I think against a human player, this is something that may scare them. It depends on the rating level of the opponent. But I think this is something that would scare an opponent while you're playing. Because the pawns are just marching down. This knight is there supporting them. This knight can use any of the outposts right for it. So I don't know. As much as I agree with the engine, I can't completely say that it doesn't look scary. Right? Because I mean, if you're saying anything at all, the best that black is doing is preventing castling, which is a big deal. King safety is a very big deal. But this threat is really like inching close. And possibly the rooks and the queen can. To be frank, if white was castled in this position, I think the engine would 100% support white in this position. I 100% think that. I 100% think that. Okay. So what actually happened? So we had the knight jumping, bishop comes back. Is b4, takes queen. Knight jumps back. Okay, so I mean you oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, okay, even if you play rook, I think your opponent would be okay doing this. I think he would be fine doing this simply because it allows you to come. You are down a pawn, but at least you are safe now. I think that's the most important part. So him coming in here is just to avoid pawn push whilst holding on to. I was initially thinking that you'd want to defend like this or go aggressive. You can see why. Okay. Knight jumps in here. I don't see the point of knight jumps in here. Would it simply be offering a trade of queen? Bishop takes c. Okay, let me switch scenes. I like this scene, but let me switch. But you know the move numbers. I'm really struggling to find out where you are. Okay, so this is it. Got my camera. Yeah, I was. So like, where are you saying bishop takes? I think c3. Before castles. So takes here. Queen takes knight e5. That is pretty. That is pretty. After knight d3. So after knight d3, you're saying bishop takes, right? Bishop takes. One of the pawns, the pawn was defended, it would. Okay, so let's try and make that work, right? Um, how do I give them? How do I give them move back? There's a way to do that. Oh boy. Okay, I want to defend this guy. We just do this. Okay. And now takes, queen takes, knight here. This is the position you're talking. And I think your point is that if takes this, or if takes, we can take holding the pawn. I guess. I don't know. I think it will depend on how your opponent carries. But if you go knight e4 here, the idea was the bishop wasn't the rook b1. Yes, they said knight e5. E5 should be here. Okay. Since it doesn't work, let's progress. Okay, so now Nyamiba started getting aggressive here. Nyamiba gets aggressive here. I don't see how. All I see is this or forcing the trade of queen, right? Queen f4. No, they're not forcing, but trying to initiate a trade of queens. For example, like this, if you decline, then like not here, but like you get the point. That's kind of like what I was thinking about here. You completely ruined the position, but it's aesthetically pleasing. It looks like it works, especially with the fact that you're attacking the knight, right? Especially with that factor. Like if you can consider the fact that okay, I'm winning the rook. Sorry, I'm pinning the rook, and I'm going to win the rook. This move makes sense because you can instantly jump here. But I think he misses the fact that like knight takes, he actually destroy me. And that's exactly what happened. Takes, queen goes back. Oh, and we have a full trade. Oh, and now the MVP. The MVPs, guys, take this into an end game, right? I know there's a disparity of rooks, but take this into an end game. Remove every other minor piece, every other piece, every major and minor piece. What do you notice? And just look at the kings and the pawns. There is a 3-on-4 on this side, and there's a 3-on-1 on this side. So should we trade, like right now the position might be equal or might be fair, but should we trade everything off the board and just leave the kings and the pawns on the board? This position is completely. Also, the king is too weak. King's weakness is not going to really matter. Yeah. This is the main reason why the engine. So if you are white, you want to find a way to force the trades off the board. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. You might be able to deal with it, but it's going to be a problem where it's a rook versus a knight end game, even though you have this advantage. Very problem. So here, white is definitely for. Right. Let's see if white tries to get a lot of trade. Nope. My move comes in almost 15 moves later. Yep. A4, B5, F5. Yeah, F5 can be played, but then and what Shaki is saying makes sense, right? Here he was talking about the king being on safe, and I'm like, it doesn't really matter. But the moment you play F5, which I mean is a good move that you would want to play, this king becomes too much exposed. Too much exposed. And these guys are really going to go. So it's not like f5 is bad in any way, shape, or form. It's good that you want to hold on to the pawn, but it's gonna be f5 and then h5. You are really risking it here. You are really risking it. Yes, Sarah one will say that you are lifting the kimono. You are really risking it. There's no attack. For black, there's no attack. If black gets overly aggressive, it might come back to bite. Right? He can't just keep pushing these pawns. He has to focus on what's going on. And I think white's threat is stronger than black. Because there are so many factors that work for white here. Not just at the pawns. Yes, the weakness here is that his opponent has more pawns on the king side than him. But the king is on the weak side. Compared to black here, the king is on the strong side. Mostly in the end game, you want your king on the weak side, not on the strong side. Once again, let's go to the landing system. Once again, let's go to the landing system. Once again, let's briefly go to the landing system. Right? There's this funny situation you get in the landing system where where your opponent plays c5 and you go. If they capture here and you capture this way, this is considered a better way to go, because this is your opponent's weak side, this is your strong side, and this is your opponent's weak side, right? And this is your strong side, and this is your opponent's strong side, but this is your weak side. So you have the advantage of king position simply because your king is closer to the weaker side as compared to your opponent's weaker side. So again, you have to consider castling and everything. So let's just do it up to castle. Let's just do it up to castle. Yeah. Right? So my king is on my weak side. My opponent's king is on the strong. So in the end game, when you just look at kings and pawns, white has the benefit, the majority. Like, white has the advantage of able to do. Right? Bro, this landing system. Bro, if you had played the landing system, Sicilian Ninja. I'm just saying, if you played the landing system, you would have won. You know, every time I mention landing system, the viewership drops. But I don't care. It's like magic. Every time I mention landing system, it drops from like 11 to like 5. Anyways, let's continue. Okay, so this is going to be interesting for me because I really suck at the end game. So f6, the rook comes in. Okay, putting pressure here, no problem. Queen side steps. Okay, so now he's going to try and put pressure on this. I think he's fine. So that's why he went for the tempo move. But okay, so let's just say he plays like a3 and then this happens. We can just go this way. And the queen wouldn't want to trade. Anyways. So he does this. Once again, the threat is this. If the knight moves, the queen is now on pre with check. Oh, c7 is bad? Is it because of rook takes? Your opponent can sacrifice the rook back. Yeah, I think that's the... That is not the point. I was thinking it has something to do with this. So this is actually bad. This is actually good for. Oh. Why is this bad? Because your opponent plays rook c8. Rook c8 doesn't seem to make any sense. Okay, rook c8 and I still don't see it. It says what? G3. Okay, G3. And then what does black play? Rook E7. So the point is that black is just going to win the pawn. I guess the whole point is that black is going to win the pawn. I guess that's the main. And since this pawn is very strong, you don't want to give it up. That and also the fact that now your strong side becomes less strong because now it's a 2-on-1. It's still a big deal, but it's a 2-on. I guess that's the issue. So what should he have done in this position? Instead? Knight e3. A move I don't understand. Anyways, hit the engine. Because pawn push is something I would have, or maybe prepare it a little bit. Right? I think if you play even b5, rook d8 should not be a problem, right? 7. And if your opponent, let's say, takes with the rook, what do you do? Just take it. Oh, sorry, take it with this rook. Queen a6 after rook c8. Queen a6. Okay, that also exists. Oh, wait. Wait. Rook takes. Queen takes. No, rook takes, queen takes. No way. Rook takes. Isn't this a draw? Queen takes. Actually, it's a mate. Sorry. Queen takes. So what would you do here? Because if you take here, you get hit with this. King comes up. I think you have the time to play this. Because check here doesn't affect you. Coming in this way doesn't affect you. Because you can just trade off here. So queen a6. I don't think it helped. Right? Yeah. Rook d5, yeah. Queen a6 doesn't help. It's the counter attack you have to watch out for. Black is doing very well in making these light jabs so that once white like messes up, he just comes back. But I mean, he has something very serious to worry about here. Okay. b5, and now he cashes in. Rook takes, queen takes. Wait, what? Don't I guess play queen takes here? It doesn't. But wouldn't it be easier to play the position if this was it? Isn't this just a plain straightforward draw? Okay, white has chances again because of the issue we've mentioned here. Okay, but let's see with what he played, how is that one perceived? Equally same issues. Okay, so the point is you have to get your king here. The rook can't do it on its own. The problem is that your rook is going to be very passive defending against this position, while your opponent is just going to be very active coming toward. Takes. Woo. Wait. He just takes. I don't know that. But yeah. Okay, now I recall the position here because that actually did happen. And this is a draw. Okay. That ended up being a draw. This is what happens when top players play. It's very boring and they are always drawing. They are always just drawing. If you haven't already, hit the follow, hit the subscribe button. Let's look at Sicilian Ninja's game against Akpa. Ooh, John Bartholomew is online. Is he playing a game? He's not. Okay. Hey, how do you spell Sicilian again? I can't remember how to spell Sicilian. Oh boy. Okay, I've played against this guy. I just wonder if it's 1L or 2Ls. And if it's SCI or SICI. Sicilian Ninja always messes. Akpa. It is all just 7 days ago. Last week. Okay, 3 days. Akpa 10 plus 2. Akpa 10 plus. You beat Mod? Nice. You drew against Akpa? Yep. Okay. Let's see. You are playing as black. I didn't teach you well. If you are playing as black and you didn't play as Sicilian, I've not taught you well. I haven't taught you well. Time for training. Yeah, okay. Petrov players. Why? Why are you a Petrov player, bro? Oh, come on. And you want me to analyze this? I know nothing about the Petrov. Nada. I don't know anything about the Petrov. Damn. Nice that I beat Mod. It should boost your confidence. Okay. Let's see what's going on here and see if I can give any commentary on this. Okay, so all I see is that you are playing like a hedgehog here. Black is playing like a hedgehog here. Mod is having a lot of spatial advantage. Maybe there's future explosions here. If you are playing it like Antiphilidors, you play the rook here, you bring the knight this way. But anyways. Oh, the knight goes this way rather. Okay. I don't like these kinds of, like, this is too cramped for me. Even the Scandinavian is not this cramped. This is just too cramped. Well, I guess every chess player likes what they like. D4 doesn't work. Where? D4 doesn't work where? D5. Ah, okay. But where exactly? Like here, D5? I don't think it does. Okay, let's see when the knight goes back, then you go in this way. What would I do? Again, once again, we don't want to resolve the pawn. I don't think that's what. Instead of H3, once again, H3 has become a point of contact. D5, I think. Yes, I guess you will not take. It may be good, but I think you don't take. I don't see any problem with it. Apart from, again, this is still too slow. Knight BD7 to D5. You give your opponent the access to. I don't think that's a big deal. If you give your opponent the access to that, I don't think so. But plausibly, that's why. So let's say we do this. Let's see what happens. So yeah, okay, knight BD7 again. Yeah, knight BD7. Knight BD7. Yeah, I think the issue is that you possibly you give your opponent access to one of that may be the reason. I don't know if that's actually the reason, but that may be the reason. Because I think trading here is just good for white. Sorry. Granted, I think black now has some freedom. right? Because after the trade, you have this move. Then knight jumps in again, and I think that's the case. But I mean, let's see what the engine thinks. Yeah, likes white. But I still think that black survives. It's not a comfortable position, but I still think black survives. Okay, shotgun. Well, as is actually called a battery. It's been a while. I have to do more chess rhyme. I won't mention what the next chess rhyme. I don't want someone to go ahead of me. Next chess. I write them down and I say and I edit them. Right. Anyways, I don't think you are trying to sacrifice here for sure. I don't think that's it. You may be, but I doubt it. Wait. Was there actually a sacrifice? No, there wasn't. The way he played his king there, I began to wonder. King comes in. But why would you want to? Okay, yeah, d5 is also going to trade. Like you have this piece is actually doing something in your position. Again, I don't think it messes up your position so bad, but I don't think it's a bad move in general. But I'm just wondering, wouldn't it be better to do it provoked? I guess. Right, focus on other moves and then you do it when your opponent provokes. Do it. I don't know. I think what you did is just fine. Takes, and again, you see, I like you are doing fine, but this is too cramped. You are doing fine, but this is too. Knight jumps in. Okay, your position is about to explode open. Your position is about to explode open. I was looking at b5, but b5 doesn't seem to work, right? Because takes doesn't work here. You leave yourself with an isolated. Same with your opponent, but it's still not something you want. Is he eventually going to play like g6 and then bishop to g7? That jumps in with trade-off for sure. And then he plays that. Oh, okay. And here you see him. It's more active. What is more active? Wait, tell. But I like it. I think in this position, I like your position. Like after this move in particular, I like your position. Your position has suddenly just come alive, right? It's just come alive. It's literally just come alive. And I think contrary to what I've been saying, I don't think you want your opponent to capture, right? The reason I'm saying this right now is because if, for example, you allow your opponent, let's say you play g6 and you allow your opponent to capture, I don't like this structure. Especially with the fact that your opponent's rook, especially with the fact that your opponent's rook has access to the file. So I think here you would want to actually, there's always exceptions to a rule. And not just that, like look at the position, look at what it opens up here, right? So here I would definitely consider takes. The bishop trade, his bishop is more active. I mean, his bishop is more active than your bishop. I'm saying that like that's your active, at least for the moment. But right now, this bishop is looking. You can even come in here and trade. Your bishop is not so bad. Good, you traded off. Queen c4. I get why you want to play queen c4. Damn. Oh, okay. I think it's better. I think I prefer to have the isolated pawn. Yeah, I prefer it this way. My pawns are connected this way as compared to having. So I think that's a good Akpa here. But you were killing Akpa. You were killing Akpa. What happened? You are even on the clock as well. So takes, queen jumps back, bishop to b4. I'm looking at funny moves here. Knight to f4 doesn't get you anything. Knight to g5, also fine, but you have to be careful. The reason I wouldn't even move the knight at time trouble. Damn. Okay, we are getting there. Knight is fine, but personally I wouldn't. At least not now. I would consider something like bishop. Maybe you're worried about this. Actually, no, you can't even do that. You guys hang it. So here, let's say he comes this one. I don't know. I think your way was just fine. I think I'm about complicating it. So takes. He went for the... That's confident. Ah, that is not confident. You are playing without a bishop. You are playing without a bishop. You are playing without a bishop. I still think the position is better for black. Don't kid me. Don't get me wrong. But that's actually very nice. You are playing without a bishop. That's what Akbar is doing here. Again, you'll be fine because you have a simple 2 move, right? But you have to be very careful of these 2 moves because 1, let's just say, and then 2, and that is just the end of the, right? Yeah, you're playing down the bishop. Like, you're literally playing down the bishop. That's actually not... Okay. Okay, you don't want to open the dark squares. That's completely fine as well. Trade off. King moves. Getting uber aggressive here. You probably don't want to take. You want to push like g4 here. You develop the bishop with tempo on the rook, but that gave him the ability to pin you. Knight e6 saves him. Oh, okay, yeah, you mentioned knight e6. Yeah, knight e6 also, yeah, does work. But again, the whole point is, the whole point is rook here gives him pressure, and he has to think about it for a bit. Does it win white the game? No, but it's a problem, right? After these trades, he comes in this way, and here I think you just push. I don't think you do anything. Just push. Give your opponent something to think about. Trying to figure out how because this move doesn't work. And we continue the exact same line he did. I don't know. I'm resolving the pawn tension, but I feel like there's something we can do. I might be wrong. I think I'm wrong, actually. Targeting here. He comes in this way, I guess. Let's see. Okay, I think it's fine. Maybe taking is the way to go. I don't know. Maybe taking might actually be the way to go. But if you come in this way, this doesn't exist. You have takes with check. So maybe taking first works. Again, if your opponent also takes, you do have this. Oh, you don't. You do. Not this move. Because now the moment they move, take with check. Oh. Yeah, engines like G takes F4 is the best move. Yeah, G takes F4 makes very good sense here. Yeah, I don't know why you came here. Yeah, Ninja. I don't know why you gave me. You weren't. I wouldn't call this specific position time trouble. This specific position, but you had 4 minutes. You spent 2 minutes. I think it's nerves. I think it's nerves that caught you. I don't know if you've ever beaten Prince Aqua before, or like how you rate yourself in chess. But depending on how you see your opponent, when you win, you get excited, and that often is what gets you to. I realize that psyche in chess is a very important thing. The more I play, yeah, because I think Queen C7 would be fine. I think Queen C7. Yeah, Queen C7 is not so. I mean, you still maintain an advantage, but not as much advantage as you. You were tense, yeah. At this point, I think it's tension. Yeah, because this, I don't think on a normal day you'd make. I don't. Because you can't back this move up. I can't figure out why you'd want to. But after check here, after this, I don't see what's the follow up. Like, I don't see the follow-up. Like, did you have some strange straightforward move that you were playing? Again, I think you could. Okay, you've made a move, so opponent has to make. I don't know exactly. Yeah. Okay. If Appa sees me bad mountain, I don't have a problem. On put. Mate in 7. Let's find mate. Let's find mate in 7. I immediately see queen up. Queen C7 is the same, but you keep the pawn exactly. I'm trying to figure out mate in 7. Give me a sec. Pawn push. Pawn push if pawn takes. Queen up. Ooh. Queen up. Our opponent has to defend, right? So let's say he goes king this way. This allows us to play bishop takes. Right, because bishop takes, if our opponent takes back, there's checkmate. And now we are threatening to take and take. So I think at this point he just starts sacrificing pieces because there's nothing he can do. I think it's queen here, and your opponent is just going to start sacrificing. Let's say king comes in here, bishop takes, and I'm going to bet that's what they. I'm going to bet that's what the queen. I mean, your opponent blundered, so you weren't dead. Like, you weren't dead. But, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Wait, what was the move? Queen E2, we saw. You saw Queen E2. Chucky. Now, in as much as Sicilian Ninja helped with this, I'm trying to vote for us to kick him off. I'm trying to vote for us to kick him off. You cannot be in PM chess and miss this. Bro, you had 1 minute. You had 1 minute. You had 1 minute. What? Shaki, do we kick him out? Shaki, do we kick him off the stream? Bro had 1 minute to figure this out. Bro had 1 minute. And this is why you played the hunting system. You would see this. Bro. How do you see Queen E2 and not the rest? No, how do you see Queen E2 and not see the rest? Like, bro, if anything, look, your mind will be on the king. Your mind will be on the. There's no, you can't tell me that you didn't consider this. Yes, I know this exists. Who gives a damn? What? Okay, Paul Bush, who gives a damn? Give me another. Give me another What? Imagine how you felt after. I don't want to imagine how you felt. I don't want to feel it. Bro! Bro! Bishop takes G3. Bishop takes G3. Rook takes C6. King to H5. Even king to H5 here. Oh my. Don't allow the check on G2. Yeah, but you could just, yeah, you could just easily come here. Just easily. Just easily. It's like. Bro literally met Hydra. Cut off all his, what do you call it, 6 heads. All he had to do, it was on the ground. It had no strength. It had no breath. All it had were tears in its eyes, saying, "Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me." That was literally all that was there. It's like he was powerless. Had nothing. Nothing. He was at your mercy. He was literally at your mercy. Bro, if I get upper like this, I'm not sparing him. I'm not sparing him. Look, you know what I'm going to do if I had this? I would look at how much time I had. Let's say we're playing OTB. And let's say it's not this time control. Let's say it's a little longer time control. I would and wait so people finish their games and gather around so that everybody can witness me. That's what I would do. Bro had nothing. Had nothing. In case you're wondering why I'm not shouting, it's 10 p.m. here, so. Bro had nothing. Bro had. Oh, Sicilian Ninja, you almost had him. But hey, good game, good game. Like even though you missed the whole Queen C7 here, you still managed to find a way through, and that was like easy. All you did was miss what every landing player sees. Yeah. Oh, you definitely can. They are not as infallible, maybe infallible as you think. Like I said, it's always in your mind. Okay, maybe this experience is not for every chess player, but I think every chess player, when they beat their first opponent, always doubts when they beat, especially over the board. They are always like, "Let me win." But look, they have chinks in their arm. They make mistakes. I always used to calculate that my opponents are making the best moves, and I'm the only one who is blundering. That's how I used to. Until I played against similar to you, played against the combined harvest. I played against him in a and I was winning. I was clearly winning. But at the point, everybody gathered around my board, and I couldn't believe I was. And everybody was around my board. Everybody was excited, like I'm about to win. And I made the biggest mistake of my life. I looked up to everybody. The moment I looked back at the board, I was just seeing everything double. Like the pieces looked double, the board looked double, my hand looked doubled. And I just couldn't tell what was happening on the board. I offered him a draw. It was after that game I realized, okay. The similar experience with Sicilian Ninja. But mine was over the board, it was physical. Yours was online, nobody was behind. Oh boy. Anyways. So yeah, keep training. You definitely get them. You definitely get them. I don't know how this game ended in a draw. When the bishop. The more I look at this game, the more pissed off I'm getting. The more pissed off. We got to this position on the board. Okay, at 5 seconds. Okay. I give it. I leave it. I leave it there. You were at 5 seconds, bro. Bro, it's Lee chess. It's Lee freaking chess. You take. It's Lee freaking chess. It's Lee freaking chess. All you have to do is just pre. You are having check here. So if you pre-move the check and then he does this and you don't see it and you do this, he has to move. Thanks. It's Lee chess, bro. But anyways, I think you made the best decision. If you're on low time and you don't know how to win, I think what you made is the best decision. I think you made the best decision. I think you made it. Bro. The next time I analyze your game against Akpa, it has to be a clear win. Right? Clear win. But it's a nice opening. I think you really understood your opening. And it's possible he underestimated you. So right now, he's not going to underestimate you again. Mostly when they think they can beat you easily, don't play properly. But when they realize that by giving you a chance, you can actually beat them, don't take you for granted. So the next time you are going to play against him, harder to beat him, because now he knows who you get it. So you would have had an easy win, but now you have to go to fight. Okay, guys. Once again, Ninja, he's the reason I'm streaming this evening. Yeah, you promise? You better keep it. You better keep it. Yeah, so I'm very tired. The coffee is not doing any magic for me. Coffee is not doing any magic for me. So we'll end here. Maybe I'll have to stream. But I don't like doing that because it gives people the impression that I should. But yeah, thank you guys so much. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe and leave a comment saying everything that you do on YouTube and Twitch. It really does help me out. The next tournament that's happening is the Rising Star Queens Chess Championship. If they use the DGT bots, I'll look at the games, but I don't expect them to. I don't know what other major tournament where the DGT bot will be. But for me, the next tournament I'll be playing is the Nationals. Yeah. I'll keep you guys posted. Okay. Once again.